My name is Bobby Brooks. Join me as we take a trip into the unknown. We're going to get into the minds of paranormal experts and investigators and find out what possesses them to go into dark rooms with nothing but a voice recorder and a flashlight, with their mission to find what goes bump in the night. Welcome to Voices from Beyond. Within the walls of Mineral Springs Mall lies the Historic Museum of Torture. Take a look. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. We have a great show planned for y'all this evening. We have Miss Janet, the caretaker and owner of the Historic Museum of Torture Devices, as well as the owner of Mineral Springs Haunted Tours with us tonight. She's going to talk about some of her pieces that she has in her museum, as well as the haunted tours that they do at Mineral Springs. Hi, Janet. How are you doing tonight?
Great.
Great. Thank you so much for coming in. You're always a pleasure, and we look forward to getting to know about some of the pieces that are in your museum. Now, the first thing that I'm curious to know, I've known you for almost a year now, what got you into the paranormal aspect of Mineral Springs?
I've had ghostly experiences all my life, and I knew that Mineral Springs was haunted. And I started doing the tours actually in 2006. And before that, I wasn't doing tours, but I've always been interested.
Fabulous. And you just kind of like found your place with Mineral Springs. You knew it was just right to be there?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So there was a drawing force that brought you in?
The building is incredible, and it has a feel about it when you go in, and you can tell there's something there.
Absolutely. Mineral Springs is one of my favorite places. I actually went, my first encounter with you wasn't just last year with the calendar. In 2009, it was, I believe, February 13th. It was a Friday the 13th tour. I went on with a bunch of girlfriends, and we took your guys' tour, and I just fell in love with the place and have been completely obsessed since then. And you guys give a great tour.
Thank you.
I do enjoy that. So the museum, the Historic Museum of Torture Devices, where did you get started with that?
Actually, about 8 years ago, 2 of my 4 children and I went to Eastern Europe looking for family. We didn't find family, but we went into a torture museum in Prague. They're prevalent throughout Europe. And we were just fascinated. We had no idea about that aspect of history. Went back the next day, did it again, talked to the owner, and that night, over a couple bottles of wine, we decided to bring one to the States. So we opened our first museum in the Wisconsin Dells in 2005.
Okay, and then you came to this area and, of course, you incorporated the museum with your tours.
Yes.
Because I know in 2009, it was in a different place. It was downstairs by the men's pool.
It was, and I used to go to Wisconsin over Christmas and bring back about 15 torture devices, use them on my tours, and then haul them all back to Wisconsin.
So these have been back and forth.
This is my collection. It's permanently here.
It's not going back to Wisconsin?
The one in Wisconsin is intact. We sold it actually in 2008. And the owner has added a few things to it, and I don't borrow those from him anymore. I have my own collection.
Now, with these pieces that you have in your museum, are they all original or are they replicas?
They're all replications.
Okay, so the chance of a lost soul traveling with them probably wouldn't be.
Not any souls from there. We do notice a little bit of heightened activity in the areas where the pieces are, and I think that may be a feeling of empathy on the part of the spirits that inhabit Mineral Springs. I think they're curious.
Absolutely. It's something new, you know. Especially there's a child spirit, Cassandra, there, and she's probably like, What's that? But anyways, so can you go into a little bit of detail on public executions for me?
Public executions were, for many centuries, a great form of entertainment. Back in Roman times, they used to execute slaves very often by throwing them into the ring with wild animals. And there was one device that is particularly gruesome, and that is a tunica molesta. And it was used in what's called execution de flammas, and it's a death by fire. It was a shirt that was quite long, or they could put the person on a pole and bind them with cloth that was soaked in pitch or wax, so it would ignite immediately, and they would literally set these people on fire.
Wow. And public execution, that's been around
Forever.
forever. I mean,
Right.
your gladiators did
Well,
it.
if you go back even to the crucifixion, there were crowds.
Right,
there.
that's true. That's true. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to go through some of the pieces that Miss Janet has in her collection. Stay tuned.
Low-hanging branches? Loose limbs? Storm damage? Don't risk climbing up that shaky ladder. Let Alton Tree Service do it for you. Fully insured with over 11 years of experience, protecting your home and family is what we do best. From trimming to complete removal, there is no tree we can't handle. Contact Alton Tree Service today for a free, no-obligation estimate at 618-977-1413. From its birth in 1931 on Broadway in Alton to its new home on Homer Adams Parkway, welcome to Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings. Alton Refrigeration and Home Furnishings earned its outstanding customer service reputation in servicing major appliance brands such as Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Frigidaire, Samsung, and more. When you think about it, Alton Refrigeration is about providing you with years of comfortable living with worry-free brand name products.
Red or black, silver or gold, new or used. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they know options are important to you. That's why they've made relationships with local dealerships where you'll receive all the extras with First Mid-America Credit Union's low rates and financing done on the spot. All you have to do is decide what you want. Your car, our loans, they're made for each other. www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a representative.
All right, welcome back. Now, Miss Janet over here, the queen of torture devices, has got me in a little...
It's a brank.
It's a brank. I can't remember what it is. Can you tell us, our viewers, a little bit about this
Yes.
contraption?
There were many different styles. Branks were used for humiliation very often, and there were as many styles as anyone could imagine. This one has a bell on it so that when the unfortunate was wearing it, people could hear her coming. These were used against women. And I have one in the museum that has a spike that goes under the tongue that can be tightened down, and men could have their wives put into one if they were nagging or gossipy.
My husband's watching tonight. We don't need to talk about that one anymore. All right, now, off the top of your head, do you know when the last public execution was?
In the United States?
In the United States.
In the United States, it was in 1936, and it was in a town in Missouri.
Really? And what style did they use?
The person was hanged. But if you look at the picture, which is an actual photograph, there are so many people there, it looks like a crowded football stadium. And people are holding little kids on their shoulders. People are climbing trees just to get a better view.
It's the curiosity of it. I mean,
And I think it's also, thank God it's him and not me.
right, but every time you drive past a car wreck,
Oh yeah,
you
you
got to
have
stop
to look.
and look.
You have to
So
look.
there is a curiosity behind it. One of the pieces that you have in your museum is a very large spike type thing, and that was Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad Tepes. Tepes means impaler in Romanian. He was a prince of Romania, and he fought the Turks. And he's actually regarded as a hero in Romania. The Turks would have been much worse. He did execute some of his own people, but he liked to execute them by impaling. and the spike of the pole was inserted in the rectum, and then the pole was made erect, and just the person's body weight slowly pulled them down. It was a long and agonizing death.
Ouch. That's all I have to say about that. I think I must say that a lot tonight. Ouch. Another piece that I noticed while me and Missy were in there was the breaking wheel.
Yes, that's another gruesome one.
We picked all the gruesome ones.
Well, they're all gruesome if you think about it. And anyway, the breaking wheel was used throughout Europe, and the person was staked on just a wagon wheel. They were tied, or they could be staked to the ground, spread eagle, and whoever was doing the torturing would hit them with a metal bar or a club and systematically break all the bones of their arms and legs, sometimes also their ribs. And then the arms and legs would be woven in and out of the spokes of the wheel, and it would be hoisted on a pole where the person would die slowly and be attacked by birds and maybe wild animals.
Now, these are more of the medieval style.
Those are more medieval, yes.
All right. Now, what about the gibbet?
The gibbet was something that was used not only throughout Europe, but also in this country. In Florida, in the Keys, especially Key West, which is right on the point, there were a lot of pirates in the 1700s. And if they captured pirates, they would strangle them and then coat their bodies with tar to kind of preserve it. And then they would stick them in a gibbet, which is a metal cage that accommodates a body. And they would hang them in the mouth of the harbor to discourage piracy. In Europe, they were used even against sheep stealers.
Arr.
And the person would usually just be put in the gibbet and hoisted up and left to starve and die from the elements.
And that's one that you see commonly, like in some of the movies and stuff like that. Like again with the medieval style, the people up in there, you know, like you said, to ward off the pirates or to ward off people from stealing the sheep. Those you've seen in movies and stuff. Another one that caught my attention was the pillory.
Yes.
Can you explain that one to us?
The pillory is a device. They're made of wood, and it opens up. There's an area for the neck and one for the hands. And then the top of it is put down, and the person is held in that position, and it's again an article of humiliation. And townspeople would throw rotten vegetables and dead rats at people in the town square that were mounted in a pillory.
Neat. And the last one we'll have to talk about, and then I want to talk about some stuff with Mineral Springs as well, is the drunkard's cloak.
Oh, the drunkard's cloak.
That's featured in the calendar as well. I believe I have that picture in there.
Yes, that one is almost a little bit of humor. The drunks who were obnoxious and who were roaming the streets would be put inside a barrel. Some of the barrels had no floor, and the person could actually walk around with this heavy wooden barrel, but others had a floor, so the person would be having to almost squat, and they would be in their own excretions, and people could throw things at them and humiliate them.
Wow. Well, let's talk about a little lighter subject than all this stuff. You are the owner and operator of Mineral Springs Haunted Tours.
That's correct.
Now you can go on a tour of Mineral Springs not just at Halloween time. You guys offer
We
tours
go year-round.
Year-round, and then you also have some walking tours coming up as well?
We have some walking tours after the April tour. That's our last winter tour, which includes the museum and a tour of the building. And when the weather gets nicer, we start our walking tours.
Great. Now, the museum is open year-round every day? Or?
It's open year-round. At this point, it's only open on Saturdays and Sundays.
But as the weather warms up and stuff like that, you have more people walking?
I'm hoping
Right.
to be
and
open
is there
more.
an admission to get in?
$5.
$5.
For the museum.
For the museum. And then the haunted tours are a different price. We'll flash up that website towards the end of the show here. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to hit our movie of the week. Stay stay tuned.
When you own a business, your loss could be your employee's loss too. That's why you should put American Family Insurance and me to work right away. I'm Gerard Fisher of American Family Insurance. I can help you design property and liability coverages that fit the needs of your specific business. Interested? Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
American Family Insurance.
We have spots open for your business. This spot can be yours. Contact Missy at 465-9850 extension 236.
Whether you're planning for home improvement projects, family vacations, college tuition, or consolidating credit card debt, use your home for what you need. At First Mid-America Credit Union, they offer home equity loans and lines of credit that can lower your costs. For more information, visit www.1stmidamerica.org or call 618-258-3168 to speak to a First Mid-America Credit Union representative.
All right, welcome back. The movie of the week this week I have chosen that has a lot to do with executions and stuff like that is the 1999 drama The Green Mile, starring Tom Hanks and Michael Clark Duncan. This movie takes place on death row in a prison during the Great Depression. The movie was originally a book by the great Stephen King. A couple fun facts about the movie is it was originally set in 1932, but the time frame was bumped to 1935 so that the movie Top Hat, starring Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, could be featured. John Travolta was originally offered the Tom Hanks's part, but turned it down. Why would you do that? It was such a good movie. When Stephen King visited the set, he asked to be strapped into Old Sparky. Old Sparky was the electric chair used in the movie, and he sat down in it and did not like it and wanted out of it as soon as possible. Also, one of the best electric chair executions was from that movie, the most realistic, or so they're told, or so I'm told. Again, I would like to thank Miss Janet for coming down and sharing some insightful information on her museum devices. It's always a pleasure seeing you. And you can check out her haunted tours by going to www.mineralspringshauntedtours.com. I would definitely recommend going on one of these tours. Like I said, that was my first little insight with Janet, and it's a great tour. I did enjoy it. We are also going to be off for the next 2 weeks, and we'll return on April 13th for a special Friday the 13th episode. We have an extraordinary list of guests and places where we will be shooting Voices from Beyond in the month of April, so make sure you stay tuned to see where we're going to be at next. Also, Altered State Paranormal, there's still spots open for their meet and greet at Milton School on March 30th. You can visit their website at www.alteredstateparanormal.com. And if you have any questions or concerns with the show, or if you have any information or you want to be a guest on our show, you can email me at bbrooks@RiverBender.com. At the end of the credits, that's up there too. So if you missed that, you can definitely get that at the end of the credits. So till next time, 2 weeks, April 13th, Friday the 13th. We'll see you then. Happy hunting.